In the shadows of our lives there exists a truth most will never see. The nights you spent awake, battling fatigue while the world slumbered. The moments when exhaustion clawed at your spirit, yet you pressed on, determined. The silent wars waged within your mind, the doubts, the frustrations, the whispers of quitting that felt like an easier path. Here lies the essence of effort. It often goes unnoticed. The world doesn't applaud your early mornings, nor does it celebrate your choice of discipline over comfort. It remains oblivious to the countless hours you invest in learning, building, and sculpting your future. In those early days, your efforts remain shrouded in invisibility. You work, you strive, you grapple with the unseen. From the outside, it seems as if nothing is shifting. Life continues around you, people scrolling through their feeds, laughing, relaxing while you toil away in silence, yearning to create something of substance, to evolve into a better version of yourself. And then the weight of it all can become unbearable. You glance around, witnessing others reveling in life without the same struggle, while you push onward, feeling like you're trudging through molasses. For a fleeting moment, your mind dances with dangerous thoughts. Perhaps I should slow down. Perhaps this isn't working. Perhaps all this effort is in vain. But here's the profound truth that often dawns too late. In the initial stages, effort rarely garners attention. It is quiet, lonely, and repetitive, an unexciting narrative that unfolds out of sight. No one shares the story of their 100 failed attempts, nor do they celebrate the nights spent honing a skill that goes unrecognized. The world sees only the outcome, not the process that birthed it. This is why many falter. They embark on their journey with fervor, brimming with energy, yet the moment they realize nobody is watching, their motivation wanes. Suddenly, the journey feels isolating, the progress sluggish, and the silence oppressive. But the ones who ultimately triumph possess a powerful understanding. Silence is not synonymous with failure. It is within that silence that growth takes root. Picture a seed buried deep in the earth there. Beneath the surface, life is thriving. Roots stretch, strength builds, foundations form. And when the time is ripe, the growth that was once hidden bursts forth, impossible to ignore. Your effort mirrors this process. For a time, it may seem as though no one cares, no one notices, supports, or applauds. But do not mistake this for meaninglessness. Your roots are still growing, and real growth demands patience. This is the stage where dreams often fade quietly, not because they are unattainable, but because the dreamers become weary of remaining unseen. They crave recognition too soon, applause before the labor is complete. Yet true builders grasp a different truth. Recognition is not the goal. Progress is. They rise each day not seeking validation, but ready to work. They show up when motivation dwindles, persisting even when excitement wanes. Their commitment, though quiet, begins to shift the landscape. Consistency holds a peculiar power. It may not dazzle in a single day or feel dramatic over a week, but over time, it builds a momentum that is often underestimated. One small improvement today, another tomorrow, and gradually, almost imperceptibly, the person you are today transforms. Your mindset sharpens, your discipline fortifies, your focus intensifies. And the same people who once overlooked your efforts begin to perceive a change within you. Not in a flash, but slowly, steadily, your results start to communicate in ways your words never could. Yet before this moment arrives, you will confront what every builder faces. Doubt, not just from others, but from within. Viewing Z. There will be nights when your mind becomes your fiercest adversary, posing uncomfortable questions. What if this doesn't work? What if all this effort leads to nowhere? What if you are merely wasting time? These questions can feel like heavy chains, for the path you tread is seldom crowded. Most opt for easier, more comfortable roads. But growth seldom dwells in those places. Growth resides in the realm of discomfort. in the realm of discipline, in the act of showing up when no one else would dare. And it is here that the true separation occurs between those who dream and those who build. Dreamers revel in the allure of success, while builders confront the price of it. Dreamers await inspiration, but builders forge systems. Dreamers discuss what they might achieve someday, while builders quietly take action today. And as days turn into weeks, that distinction becomes impossible to overlook. Over time, effort begins to sculpt something most fail to recognize initially: your identity. Each choice to prioritize discipline over distraction reshapes who you are. Every moment of perseverance strengthens an unseen force within you: resilience. Resilience is the capacity to press forward when uncertainty looms. It is the ability to remain committed when progress feels glacial. It is the faith in the process, even when results remain elusive. This quiet strength differentiates those who ultimately succeed from those who fade away. The journey toward anything meaningful will challenge you, not once, not twice, but repeatedly. There will be instances when life feels unjust, when it seems others are racing ahead while you linger behind. Moments will arise that prompt you to question your path, to wonder if it's time to surrender. During those moments, something fascinating unfolds. Your excuses become louder, cloaked in a guise of reason. They whisper to you, offering a false sense of safety. Perhaps this isn't the right moment. Perhaps waiting a little longer would be wise. Perhaps focusing on something simpler would be better. Perhaps this dream is simply too ambitious. These thoughts, though they seem benign, are treacherous. They don't scream negativity. They whisper comfort. Excuses masquerade as practicality, as protection, but they slowly distance you from your potential. They urge you to settle, to lower your aspirations, to diminish your efforts. The moment your effort wanes, momentum falters. The progress you painstakingly cultivated begins to slip away. The discipline you forged weakens. The focus you once held becomes scattered. Not in a dramatic instant, but gradually, quietly. And this slow decline is how most dreams dissolve, not through failure, but through quiet abandonment. This is why builders guard their mindset with vigilance. They understand that the true battle lies not in the external world, but within their own minds. The voice that urges you to persist and the voice that insists this is futile, these voices clash daily. And the voice that prevails is the one you choose to heed. Builders are not those who never experience doubt. They are those who choose to rise above it. They feel it all the time, the weight of exhaustion pressing down on their shoulders, whispering doubts in their ears. They are not immune to fatigue. There are days when the shadows of uncertainty creep in, making them question every choice they've made. But here lies the difference. They refuse to let those fleeting feelings dictate their journey. They forge ahead undeterred because they understand a profound truth. Feelings are transient, but commitment is steadfast. If you wait for motivation to strike, your progress will be a series of fleeting moments, here one day and gone the next. Motivation ebbs and flows like the tide, sometimes crashing over you with force, other times retreating into the distance. But discipline is a different beast altogether. It doesn't care about your mood or your momentary doubts. It simply demands that you show up day after day, even when the world feels heavy. And each time you do, even when the road is rocky, you prove something monumental to yourself. You demonstrate your capacity for consistency, your ability to persist against the odds. You become the architect of your own resilience, building the kind of character that sees things through to the end. With every commitment you honor, that belief in yourself grows stronger. Because success isn't a singular, explosive moment. No, it's woven together from countless quiet decisions. It's in those instances when you could have chosen comfort, when you could have allowed yourself to stop, moments that would have drawn no judgment from anyone. Yet you pressed on quietly, steadfastly, moving forward, one step at a time. And while you journey through this path of growth, the world outside may remain oblivious. People will continue their routines, casting glances filled with doubt. They might question your choices, wondering why you sacrifice your time, why you invest energy into something that hasn't yet revealed its fruits. Those questions can weigh heavily on your spirit, for we all crave recognition, support, understanding. But here's the harsh truth. Most people only grasp the value of effort after they witness the fruits of success. Before that moment arrives, your dedication may seem excessive, your persistence foolish. This misunderstanding can drive many to abandon their dreams too soon, leaving them feeling embarrassed, judged, and isolated. Yet, true builders embrace a reality that others shy away from. Being misunderstood is part of the journey. You won't always appear impressive as you evolve. You won't always seem successful as you learn. You won't always radiate confidence as you grow. Sometimes growth is messy. Sometimes it feels slow. Sometimes it appears invisible. But none of this equates to failure. It simply signifies that you are still in the process. And this process, my friends, is where the real transformation occurs. Each hour of effort is molding your future. Every skill you hone is sharpening your capabilities. Each challenge you confront is fortifying your mindset. Even when the world remains blind to your struggle, even when no one acknowledges your dedication, something powerful is brewing beneath the surface. You are evolving into a stronger version of yourself, more disciplined than last month, more focused than last year. And slowly, those small improvements begin to carve out a gap between who you were and who you're becoming. A gap between you and those who surrendered to their doubts. A gap between effort and excuses. And eventually, that gap becomes impossible to overlook. Because something remarkable happens when you persist long enough. Results begin to emerge. Not in an instant, not in a flash, but gradually. One small improvement becomes visible. A skill sharpens. Your confidence swells. Your work transforms into something more powerful than it once was. And those very people who overlooked your efforts now start to notice the shift. They see progress. They witness growth. They recognize change. Questions arise. How did you achieve this? When did this transformation take place? How did you cultivate such discipline? How did you maintain consistency? But here's the essence of it all. It didn't happen in a single stroke of luck. It unfolded over hundreds of quiet moments that went unnoticed. It transpired on days when motivation was a distant memory. It thrived on nights when you chose to learn while others sought comfort. It emerged during times when quitting seemed far easier than persisting. Those moments built everything. And here lies the paradox of success. People see the final chapter, but they rarely glimpse the long narrative that brought it to life. They celebrate the victory but overlook the struggle. They applaud the results but ignore the relentless effort. They admire the confidence without acknowledging the doubts that once haunted you. And because of this, success often appears simpler than it truly is. But you know the truth. You remember those quiet nights filled with uncertainty. You recall the moments when nothing seemed to work. And yet you pushed on not because it was easy, but because something deep within you refused to relent. That inner decision alters everything. When you cease to seek validation from others, you unlock an extraordinary level of focus. You stop worrying about who's watching, who's judging, or who believes in you. Your attention shifts to what truly matters, the work, the improvement, the progress. And when that clarity washes over you, something incredible begins to unfold. Your energy stops leaking into distractions. Your focus no longer chases approval. Your time becomes an investment in what truly counts. That's when real momentum ignites. Momentum isn't born from sporadic bursts of effort. It emerges from consistent action. It's about showing up repeatedly, even when the excitement wanes. It's about ingraining disciplined habits until they become an inseparable part of who you are. And as that happens, progress becomes not just a possibility, but an inevitability. Your abilities expand. Your confidence deepens. Your mindset evolves into something more robust than it once was. The same effort that once went unnoticed begins to bear visible fruit. Opportunities materialize. People seek your guidance. They begin to respect your dedication. They acknowledge your discipline. But remember this vital truth: recognition is not the ultimate reward. The true reward lies in the person you become throughout this journey, the discipline you've forged in the fires of challenge, the mindset you've sculpted through trials, the strength you've summoned when faced with adversity. These are the legacies that endure, long after the applause has faded into silence. Success is not merely a destination. It is a journey of transformation. It's about evolving into the person capable of achieving greatness. And this metamorphosis demands more than mere wishful thinking. It requires relentless effort. It calls for patience that defies the clock. It hinges on a persistence that perseveres even when the world turns a blind eye. If you find yourself in that silent struggle where your hard work feels unseen, where progress seems like a distant whisper, where it appears as though no one cares about your dreams, do not let that silence shatter your resolve. For it is often in the quietest moments that the most profound growth occurs. So keep pushing, keep evolving, keep building your dreams brick by brick. Show up each day not for the accolades, not for the applause, but for the future you are meticulously crafting. Because one day the fruits of your labor will emerge, and when they do, people will see the results. They will witness the confidence radiating from your every move. They will acknowledge the milestones you've achieved, the success you've manifested. But you will know the truth that lies beneath the surface. You will recognize that every moment of unseen effort counted. Every struggle, every challenge, every time you chose to rise instead of retreat mattered. That is the essence of true power persistence in the face of doubt. So press on, even when the world seems indifferent, even when recognition feels like a distant dream, even when you feel like you're shouting into the void. Because the truth is clear and unwavering, results will always speak for themselves. And when they finally do, they will resonate louder than any applause ever could. Embrace the journey, trust in the process, and remember, your story is being written with every effort you make.